Good morning, guys. Wearing my Ohio State shirt. So we are going to talk about two things. And so I have a knife out here that we're going to talk about. It is the, and now I'm probably going to mispronounce this because I haven't found anything out. This is Ruike, R-U-I-K-E. Ruike. I'm going to pronounce it the Japanese style. I know this is probably a Chinese company. This is a steel frame lock flipper that they make. Now they also make flashlights. So they make flashlights, they make knives. It's a small, decent, it's a very decent knife. These are $40. Now, this is the P108 SF. And what it has, it's got something else. Now, it's kind of gimmicky, but I kind of do like it. It is what's called a beta lock, or what they call a beta lock. And it's got a little notch here. I did sharpen this. This is in, the steel is 14C28N, which I'd never heard of. And I know a lot about a lot of steels because I go with, I hang out with Elliot. So I got to looking this up. I was like, I've never sharpened that. Turns out there's a good chance I have sharpened that. They use this in a lot of razors, straight razors and things like that. Some of the small razors that you buy, they use it for that. It holds a really good edge from what I can see. And it came really well ground. It came sharp. But like I said, it is a steel frame lock, which you would think it's heavy, because I was surprised that it is steel. You would think it would be heavy. But when you look down in here, they have milled out so much material on this that it's really light. It's no heavier than a lot of my titanium frame locks. It's got a black backspacer and just silver tumbled stonewash scales. So you've got, it's recessed here, we can get in. It does have some jimping on that. I don't necessarily like jimping on the actual lock bar itself, but this isn't aggressive that it would hurt. It's been rounded over fairly nice. There is no other jimping anywhere on this knife. Has a deep carry pocket clip with a, it's all, I can't tell if it's ceramic or if it's hardened steel. There's that little device there. It minimizes your contact point. I don't like deep carry pocket clips. This one's not too bad. I carried this in a suit a couple days this week. It carries real comfortable. But see how that's nice and wide? And then you've got that, just that one little dot of color. I find that attractive. I like the just plain aesthetic of it just being two spots of color, the black and then that blue. It's got almost a big sweeping, almost Persian style look to it, but it cuts really well. It's not too thick behind the edge, but it is a nice thick blade stock. So I meant to mic it, micrometer it last night so I could tell you exactly what the thickness was, but I didn't. I never do. It was ground really well. It came with a really good edge on it. It had one little hiccup. It comes to a nice thin tip for doing any fine detail work. I actually used this last night to dig a piece of metal out of my leg from working up at the shop. I had gotten a piece of metal in my leg somehow. Yeah, I'm gonna get the camera. I'm gonna turn the camera around. So this is gonna be a short video. I'm gonna turn the camera around because along with this, there's one other thing I wanted to touch on with you guys. I got this knife in. This knife came from my anonymous benefactor that's given me all those knives. As a matter of fact, he gave me this knife. This one I'm not getting rid of. I'm keeping this one. I really like this one. But they're like 40 bucks. They're 40 bucks on Amazon, I think, was where I saw them. So this knife is a Kizer, and I'm gonna turn the camera around. We'll look at that knife, but I wanted to show you one of the things that happens a lot of times when people use a fixtured system, especially one of the fixtured systems where you're dragging the stone across. So hang on just a second, and we'll do that. All right, guys. So here is a close-up look at this. And I mean, like I said, it's kind of plain Jane, but it is not unattractive at all. There's not really any hot spots. There is, everything was chamfered, and that's probably from being tumbled. The only place that I could see, I want to take a Scotch-Brite wheel. It's a little sharp on the, where the swedge cut is. That edge is a little sharp. I just don't like it necessarily. No, you know, if I wanted to keep it, if I was carrying it and I wanted to use it as a camp tool for a like a fire stick, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think what they call them, the fire starter sticks. So actually, no, it's real smooth. I haven't taken it apart. I haven't done anything to it except sharpen it. It's still got some grit in it from sharpening, but it is really smooth. But you can see, yeah, it's got a nice tumble on it, nice stone wash. It's got, the only problem I've got with it is so much information on the blade. Like, I don't know what this is. I know that's the model, that's the steel. And you have this, I think this is, it says 02 right here. I don't know what that is. So really don't know what some of the markings are, but I said there's that nice polished pocket clip with the blue, just that blue piece on there. And it's not, that's not a screw, because it's, I don't know if it's press fit, but there's no Torx. And then you have, like I said, the beta lock, which is actually kind of clever, because all it is there's a notch that sits in. Then when you close the knife, you can't push it forward because the lock bar is up. That way you're not going to wind up screwing anything up. You can't get it forward because now that notch is preventing it from going forward. So it serves two purposes. Now you can't unlock the knife, and now you can't accidentally engage the lock. So there's that. Now this, which is a very attractive knife in its own, let me adjust this a little bit. We're gonna try to tip this straight down here so I can get some contrast on this to show you what I'm talking about. So now this knife, I'm not going to say that the Wicked Edge is not a good sharpening system. But what happens is, can you see that right there? Where the tip is just got that little bit of weirdness to it. You see it if I can get it to focus. See right there at the very tip? What that is, what you're seeing, is where the stone has, now you can get a really good mirror polish, and I'm not gonna lie, this knife is sharp. It's gonna be a different kind of sharp when I'm done with it, just because of the way my edges are. But you can see there's spots where that edge just looks kind of funky up near the tip, and that is because the stone is, when you're using an Edge Pro or a Wicked Edge, you can't see where your stone is. You can't see how much blade you have left touching, because there's like this big obstruction. So what happens is, a lot of times that stone slips off. It slips off, and then slips off, and then you wind up with that funky weird angle right at the tip, and you wind up rounding tips of blades off pretty well. And this one actually has got, it almost looks flat from here to here, and then the tip rolls off. This is a pretty knife. I do like this. Yeah, no, that's something I want to touch on. When you're dealing with some of the fixtured systems, if you're not careful, you wind up with that weird funkiness at the tip. Sometimes you get it here at the heel, and you will, not to call anyone out, I have a friend, you can see right there. You can't tell when you've gone too far, and those stones are squared off, and you wind up cutting a notch right here in that. Now, my NTAC has that, and it's just an aesthetic thing, because it's my knife. I'm aggressive when I sharpen it. With you guys' knives, I am much more careful. But I still do. I still get down in there, and that a lot of times can be overcome by just cutting that notch up just a little bit further. So, nope. That's all I wanted to talk about on that. That was it. So, not to make this any longer, it's probably going to be about 10 minutes as it is, so. That's right, guys. That's it. Like I said, not a bad knife for $40 at all. Not at all. And I'm gonna maybe do an actual video about this knife. I want to look it up because I really like this one. I don't see, I'm trying to find a model number on this. I think there it is. I think it's the KI4412. But it's really, really nice. Yeah, that's, like I said, that comes from people will try to get going too fast and they slip the stones off the ends and then they get some weirdness towards the tip. Sharpening from the top down and looking down on your work like this, your stones are here, it's really hard to do. That's why I like freehand sharpening. I can see where that stone is, how much of that blade is touching the stone. And I can work on specific areas lightly, things like that. And there are issues that go along with a fixtured system. But not everybody can freehand sharpen. I'm not saying that you should not use a fixtured system. I mean, I see a lot of people that get a fixtured system and immediately, oh, well now I can sharpen anybody's knife, and then you wind up with some problems. You really do. So, all right guys, that's it. I gotta get off here. I gotta get ready. We gotta go meet my daughter's ice skating coach for a little conference, almost like parent-teacher conference, but with my daughter's ice skating coach. And I have to package these 4 knives up with one other one that have to go off to Matt at Armitage Carry. I can't give you guys enough of a recommendation. If you need, there's no way I can tell you how nice his sheaths wind up coming out unless you've had one in your hand. He does amazing work, and he's got an eye for matching things up color-wise and things like that. So yeah, that's gonna be a common thing where you guys hear me talk about Matt's work. His work is amazing. So, all right guys, that's it. Gotta get off of here. Gotta get changed. I will talk to you later. Have a good day. I'm not gonna do any more live feeds or anything, I don't think, today. We have a Christmas party tonight. I didn't get any sleep really last night, so that's probably going to be, this is it for the day. I'm probably not even going to do any sharpening. So you guys take it easy, and I will talk to you and see you next time. And my remote didn't work.